Hello, welcome back to Bass Technique. In today's lesson, we'll be covering all of the basic scale and arpeggio exercises. The benefits of practicing scale and arpeggio exercises are it is very good for our technique, it'll help us become very familiar with all the various scales, and it'll help us master the fretboard, being able to play on every area of the instrument. So, with that being said, let's get into it. Before starting on the exercises for today's lesson, I first want to talk about the idea of there being three directions of movement on the bass. The first direction of movement is what I call vertical playing. This is where we take one position and we fully ascend and descend the strings within that one position. So if I were to take a C major scale, let's say, I would start on the low C of my B string, and I would ascend the scale all the way up to the top range, which is on the high C string on this instrument, and then I would descend all the way back through the bottom range of it. So what that would look like is so I have a C major scale and I'm fully ascending and descending within that position. The next position, I could shift up and start on the third of the scale, which is an E note, and fully ascend and descend the strings according to that scale within this position. So that would look like Notice I'm using an extended range position where I'm covering a 5 fret range when I get to the top of the scale. One more time. Then I'll shift up one more position. Now I'm starting on the 5th degree of the scale, which is G. That will look like this. And that pretty much brings us up to the octave, where the pattern repeats. So I'll just briefly repeat that and play through all the positions. So that's the vertical approach being demonstrated. The next direction of movement is what I call horizontal playing. This is where instead of ascending the strings in one position, we ascend the neck on a single string. So if I were to play a C major scale starting on the low C, using the horizontal approach, it would look like this. So the horizontal approach, it's not an ergonomic motion. It requires a lot of shifting. The benefit of the horizontal approach, though, is it really makes you learn your neck very well. It really makes you have to learn where the notes are and be very conscious of where you are on the neck at all times. The third direction of movement is what I call diagonal playing. This is where we incorporate both ascending and descending the strings, as well as moving up and down the neck at the same time. So if I were to play the C major scale using a diagonal approach, it would look like this. So you can see I'm using a combination of shifts and ascending and descending the strings to move across the neck. Diagonal playing is very ergonomic. It's very great for covering a lot of territory of the bass in a short amount of time. It is tricky though because you have to think both of ascending strings and shifting at the same time. So with all of the exercises we're about to learn, think of applying them in these three directions of movement, these three directions of motion. Doing that, you'll really become very comfortable with playing all parts of the neck and knowing exactly where you are at all times. So with that being said, let's get into the exercises. So that concludes all of the scale and arpeggio exercises. It's a lot of material, but spending a little time with it each day will really help improve your technique and your fluidity, your ability to navigate the fingerboard. So, and remember, you can apply all of the exercises in this lesson to those three directions of motion: the vertical, the horizontal, and the diagonal. If you practice all of that, you are going to have the fretboard down pat. So I hope you get in some good practice with this, and I'll see you in the next one.